Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and she has now named herself
Mrs. Potato Head. Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, me is Mrs. Potato Head.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ms. Kwyn, or Master of Kwyn Townsend Riley, and Stephen Space Pirates Hill. I have no idea what most of this means. And let's start with that.
I know what Kwyn's means. Kwyn's means she got that graduate paper. That's what that means.
And so
she's a master of sisterhood. That's what it is. Master sister. No, that's
like
wrong.
it.
No.
Masters of
Sciences. I knew that was
in higher education.
In
PhD
higher.
coming soon.
Okay.
PhD coming soon.
Okay, so that didn't seem to be the goal not too long ago, but now that you got this, you ready to move on to the next level?
Yep, and grades finally were submitted, so I did graduate with a 4.0.
Nice.
Oh, proud of you.
Yeah, my mom is happy too, so that's good. And we leave for Virginia next month.
All right.
And you'll be there in time for Juneteenth.
Yes, I'm moving on June 17th, so I'm excited to see what DC does for Juneteenth. I don't know if they do it like Chicago, but
everybody says that. But I mean, it started.
I think they're gonna do a little something in the chocolate city.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay,
and Black Voters Matter, or Black Lives Matter Plaza, and all that other.
That's true.
They're gonna make it right for you.
The party will be at the park on 14th. That I can tell you.
Okay, Mr. DC. Mr. DC knows that. So,
Oh.
So how was the event? How was the graduation itself, Kwyn?
It was really interesting because it started raining like halfway through, and you could hear just like the pounding thunder and all that type of stuff.
But you all were inside.
We were inside. They made us wear our masks, which my girlfriend does not like to wear her mask anymore, so she was texting me the whole time like, Kwyn, I'm an anti-masker. Why do you have me at this event? I want to take my mask off. So that was hilarious. But it was really emotional because that was like it. Like I haven't seen my cohort again. I haven't seen my co-grad again. There was a few undergrad students that were there that were hugging me. They gave us lots of gifts the day of. And I was just like crying. I didn't wear any makeup because I knew I was going to cry. So I was crying a lot. And then we went to my favorite taco spot and they paid for our drinks.
Taco Bell was open on graduation.
Oh God. No. I only eat corn tortilla.
Oh no, not.
So there's this place called La Cantonita in Galesburg. And they have the best shrimp tacos, the best drinks I've ever had. And they paid for everything for us. And my girlfriend also helped pay too. We got extra shots and dessert and stuff. So it was very nice and very sentimental. I miss Macomb, but now I'm back home in Chicago for a little bit. And you see my voice is gone because I've been yelling and crying. So yeah, but it was nice.
That's good. Great memories always. Good.
Yeah, it was.
Good. Myra, did you have great memories at your early voting?
Well. Yes, I'm going to say yes because I did vote. The first location that we went to, a friend of mine and I went, and we both looked it up separately, early voting places. We're like, oh, let's go over here. We go in and the people are like, no, this is next week. And we're like,
on the exact day of the end of voting.
Yep. And both of us said, but you're the first place listed for advanced voting. And they were like, well, whatever, next week. So we're like, we will not be deterred. We open up our phones. What's the next place? So we ended up going. Wasn't a lot of people there, but I had shared with Sybil earlier. For people in Georgia, it was a little different experience because you do the electronic voting, with your card. But then you take your card and you go over to this other machine and you have to put your card in. And you have to print your votes out on a piece of paper. There's a printed sheet. Then you have to take that sheet, feed it into another machine for it to, quote unquote, register. So it's almost like a double registering process.
Make sure that your vote really does count.
Yeah.
That's what they told me.
Well, that's what my friend shared with me, that this was because of Secretary of State Raffensperger or something, to make sure your vote really counts so that we don't have the problems we had before. And I keep going, but we didn't have problems before. You counted the Durham votes 3 times and we didn't have problems.
Right.
But yeah, to me, that's just a little extra shenanigan that they've thrown into the process. So,
okay, so let's take a moment, and now we'll move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. And that is our Monday through Friday effort to inform and empower our people. We have stories that are curated by a number of people, especially the Townsend Riley family, and as well as Coy Malone and yours truly. We talk about issues that really do affect Black people, and we would love for you to subscribe to the absolutely free newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com, and it'll be in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. Yeah, Kwyn, what's going on at a Kentucky middle school?
Man, I don't know about you guys, but we had pen pals, in elementary school and stuff, but we never had an assignment.
We never had pen pals back in the day.
Oh, don't say it. Hey, I know y'all are older than me, but you're not, Asian. I don't know. But this Kentucky middle school, this Christian Academy of Louisville, had asked their students to write a letter to an imaginary friend that's struggling with homosexuality. And they were told to use lessons from the Bible to persuade them that they should not and are not gay. The assignment was first flagged by somebody who was a member of the LGBTQ community in Louisville, who posted it on Twitter. And they said that the aim of the letter should be to lovingly and compassionately speak true to the person you're talking to in a way that does not approve of their sin. And this is again, the Christian Academy Louisville assignment. And their superintendent, Darren Long, he did tell the Courier Journal that the school would be reviewing the assignment, but that the school does believe that marriage should be between one man and one woman only. And according to Long, the homework was a part of a unit of a study that discusses humans and their identity, and in context was how a person could discuss homosexuality with a friend from a biblical perspective with compassion and love. But as we know, there's been lots of bills that have been going around, not only in the conservative South, but just throughout the U.S. currently when it comes to matters pertaining to sexual orientation, gender identity, and how they should be discussed in school. And this type of homophobic rhetoric, that is used as an assignment for middle schools, is kind of perpetuating this agenda, not only for conservative or even, but I'll say benevolent homophobia, right? Not the extreme version of homophobia.
There's benevolent homophobia.
I would say this is more benevolent homophobia. That's kind of oh, well, Jesus does love you, but Jesus doesn't love you if you're gay. So I would say it's a bit more benevolent. But this is that type of assignment. And I was really, really surprised because if this person never posted it on Twitter, if their child never came home, said hey, I don't feel comfortable writing about this, then we would have never known. And the fact that lots of religious institutions, even when we think about colleges and universities, have the type of freedom and leeway to do what it is that they want to do under religion, is pretty much wrong. And it allows people to just perpetuate bigotry because they follow this type of doctrine, and it's just not right. So yeah, that's what I read about.
So had this child not felt uncomfortable, as you say, we may never have known about this assignment, and the school has said, okay.
The superintendent said, yeah, we believe marriage between one man and one woman, but we will review this assignment. It just kind of sounds like we're going to do what you guys want us to do, but nothing's going to change. Because they are, it's literally called the Christian Academy of Louisville. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that they're going to actually be moving or adapting or even just changing something. And it was interesting because when I went to the tweet, they said that they had their child actually write to, because this is a child of same-sex parents, and the child ended up writing a letter to to like the child version of their parents before they came out.
Mm-hmm.
So they told them like, hey, I love you. Like, you can be gay and Christian. Like, Jesus loves all of us. Jesus created the rainbow, all that type of stuff. So I love the fact they were able to turn it around, but it's just kind of scary, like how early people are trying to train up, hate. I think that's very interesting,
Right. I think it's very interesting. Also, we're talking about being in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Month and talking about a number of acts of hate, whether it is convincing children not to be gay.
Right.
Through this classroom assignment, whether we're talking about what happened in Buffalo with the mass murder of 10 people and wounding of 3 others at the Top supermarket over the weekend. Whatever it is, we're talking about things that have to do with our mental health as well as, well, let's talk gun control and things like that. But I do want to point out to people that we are in an effort to help people in this month of mental health awareness. And so it's Sybil, the What You Need to Know newsletter, all of us here are teaming up with the Public Welfare Foundation. And in honor of this month, we are giving away $500 mental health grants. Mm-hmm. And so we just ask you to go to my Instagram page, and you can find out how you can win one of these $500 grants. This week, we'll be giving away one, as well as the week of the 23rd of May. So please do that. We're talking about...
Hey, if you're actually... here's a question. If you're actually on It's Sybil, are you eligible for those grants? Because the bill came in for my therapy, and I'm not sure I can cover it this month. So am I eligible?
I think you're okay.
No, you're not.
Yeah, send it to us.
Well, why not?
No, send it to us. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
Sure.
We want to help those who can be helped.
I feel like it may be a little mental health abuse. I'm not sure. Kwyn, you want to be on my side on this one?
I mean, aren't you collecting rent? Don't you have that money coming in? Like, oh, man, those are new glasses, man. Those are new glasses.
These glasses are 5 years old.
I think the glasses are as old as you are.
Glasses are almost as old as you are, Kwyn.
Yeah.
Wow. See what we did there? Ooh.
Here comes the adultism.
But I was talking about Buffalo, and I don't know if you all have been as strongly affected as some of us have, and this has just taken me to a whole nother dark place with this situation. And our friend Myra, and you know him too, Steve. Our friend Danny Harris. That was the neighborhood he grew up in Buffalo.
Wow. I didn't know
his
that.
cousin works at that grocery store and was there.
Wow.
And was lucky enough to escape this murderous rampage. Danny was on with us the other day and talking about this. This is just a horrific thing. And the fact that a race war is already going on in this country, but this kid exemplifies just how dangerous things are, to the point where not only did he figure out where he wanted to go, he scoped out the areas. Mm-hmm. This 18-year-old man, he bought the gun, even though he had made a threat against his school the year before, his high school, to shoot up the school, and was sent to some sort of mental health treatment for about an hour and a half. And came out, and he was still able to buy these guns. He drove 3 hours to this particular area, and it's just the most horrific thing. So the president and the first lady went to this area, this neighborhood on the east side of Buffalo, to pay their respects. And during his speech, the president promised to fight the poison of white supremacy. It would be nice if they could do something about this. However, even though the United States Congress, the House, can pass this, they have the numbers to pass it, it's not going to go anywhere in the United States Senate. Obviously, at 50 votes apiece, there's no majority there, no real majority to overcome the 60 vote level of to kick over the filibuster. So
and with that, as President Biden said, I have promised to fight white supremacy. He therefore ceded the 2024 election. Oh, I'm so sorry, he won't be back again. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you know what? Even before that, Steve, even Democrats are going, he's not going to be around for the next election.
Can't do it.
A lot of Democrats have already said that, including Bernie Sanders, and I dare say maybe some others. But Steve, you're right. I mean, and talk on that, because that is saying nothing can happen from here on out.
Look, you can't. You are not going to win an election yet in the United States of America saying you're going to fight white supremacy, because white supremacy is the kind of the basis of how folks especially who have easy access to voting, like their things to roll.
Mm-hmm.
We are built as human beings, as animals, to try to have the most of our kind on this planet. It's just how we're built. It's kicked into our thing, right? You ever think of why there's for most people there's this yearning? You've got to have kids, but you don't necessarily have to have an umbrella, right? You don't necessarily have, right?
Yeah.
No, because your whole there's a simple word I'm looking for, I can't find it.
Your whole
reason for being, yes, is to make more and have more of you, so you can be in power. So when you bastardize that and you irrationalize that, you come to people who are like, when you read some of the stuff this dude wrote in
the 180-page
Buffalo,
manifesto, yes,
it's like it's white replacement theory, right? So
right.
White replacement theory, that there are people being brought into the country who are going to replace white folks, and that is what Tucker Carlson has been talking about this for a while on the
400
show.
episodes of his show.
It's just so dangerous. But the challenge is, it appeals to those people who feel like they are being replaced after having been in power for so long. I would love to, I was trying to find a bright side of something. And
right.
this one's a tough one. This one's a tough one. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that a lot of folks would agree with you. This is a tough one, and the fact that he was able to sit at home during the quarantine and find those of like minds, and Lord knows how many others there are there who feel the same way that this kid did or does. And in regards to the fact that the great replacement theory has been espoused by Tucker Carlson to millions of people over the last 400 episodes of his show, and others who aren't even talking about it in public forums, but definitely are in their own homes and what have you, they're talking about it, and it's disturbing, and when people like Joe Biden talk out against it, they have pretty much sealed their political future.
Well, I will just say this till I'm blue in the face. There is no reason for a citizen to have a weapon like that. And so many people have said, oh, yeah, you need a good guy with a gun to stop a bad guy with a gun. We had a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Who was a professional.
Yeah.
This
retired
kid,
police officer.
Right,
yeah.
right. This kid had this weapon, which with armor. That's why I say we need to ban them all. And they said, well, then just the bad guys will have it. But we have to start somewhere. I don't care if it takes 10 years to get rid of all of them and ban them. Think of the lives we are saving 10 years from now. Yeah. We cannot continue just poo-poo this away, because they're going to make stronger guns, faster guns. We have to stop it somewhere. We have to stop it somewhere and say enough.
And they're not stopping the white guys who are doing the damage. He walked away scot-free. He didn't have a mark on him. Okay. He walked out. They probably didn't even have him in handcuffs when they first took him out of the grocery store. So here's where we are. This is a situation that's going to go on for however long, I don't know. But we've got to fight the good fight. And if that means whatever way you choose to do it, I prefer to do it in a nonviolent way. But I encourage you to step up against this, and to for us to try to do something to make sense of this, and to not make those lives that were lost be in vain.
Absolutely.
One more thing I do want to talk about. Every week in our newsletter, we do have a Black and Missing section. This is in order to give information about people who are, especially young Black people who are missing. And today we talk about Alexis D. Ware, and she is missing from Anderson, South Carolina, and has been for several months. She went missing on January 30th of this year. So if you have any information, take a look at her picture and go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Okay. Okay, now it's time for the question of the day. This is our what's really going on question, a little lighter and necessary.
Like I say, every time you switch gears, it feels like there needs to be some kind of theme song. Like, and that's our question of the day. Like,
so do you have
we should break out
transition music?
Yeah, exactly. Like 3-part harmony, like question of the day. Yeah, like something like that. I'm just going to interject. You keep going. No. When we switch subjects, I'm just going to interject it.
I'm going to give you a point, and then okay.
And I'm going to add what?
What brought this to mind? This question of the day. It was young Kwyn. And going and getting her master's, and now talking about getting her doctorate soon come. If you could go back to school, Myra, Steve, Kwyn, we know you will be going soon. If you could go back to school and get a degree, and if money was not an issue, what would you study? And would it be different than what you are doing now? I know, Stephen Hill, what you studied in college has nothing to do with what you do now. But Myra, same thing for you, although you do deal with some crazy kind of characters as a social worker. But just for people who are watching and listening, we'd love to know if you could, if all things being equal and free, just imagine if we had free education in this country, if you could go to school and get a degree, or if you could just study, just audit classes, as it were, what would you do? What is that subject that you would, or profession that you would seek out as a result of this study in college?
Perhaps business management. I never took a business class. I took econ and literally dropped it. I couldn't understand how the butter was affecting the price of tea in China. It just wasn't making sense to me. And now it's like, okay, since you're in show business, it would have been nice to have a couple of classes related to business. So yeah, definitely business.
So business. You like to be about the business of show.
Yeah, the business. Yeah, business classes.
Stephen Hill, were you an econ or a banking major?
Applied math and economics major.
Applied math and
economics. Econ. I would have studied either gone straight business. I kind of wish I'd gone to business school, and I still might. Or film. Like I really love film, and I love the ability to either film or actual movie making. I just love making, creating, and finding the deep inner meaning and being able to insert it into scripts and stuff. So I would have done that. Or writing.
Well, you got the screenplays all ready to put out there.
I do. So, but I just wish I learned how to write them.
And maybe our friend Kevin can help you out in biz school.
That is true.
He can at least take the the GMAT for you.
That's the hope. That's the hope, Liz.
Young Kwyn, if you were able to change gears right now and say, you're not going to continue in the world of academia and education, what other area would you like to study?
I would definitely go into African American studies or get my MFA, like in poetry and spoken word. I would just do that full time, and I would like to go to a HBCU. I graduated from 2 historically white institutions, so I really
2 historically white.
Yeah, because there was when I went to this higher ed conference, they talked about like abolishing the term predominantly white institutions,
PWIs.
Just because naming it as like the history of it kind of shifts the not the accountability, but just like the paradigm and the framework of it. Because a lot of times when we say predominantly, there really shouldn't be more predominantly white institutions. There should be way more Black and brown students, attending colleges, but they're not because of, like lack of access and stuff. So saying historically kind of gives a different type of like optimism towards it. But yeah, I've been at, in these white spaces, and I want to go see what the HBCU was like, to be honest. And if money wasn't a thing, I would have definitely gone. Like, if I didn't have to pay for my flight, to and from home, like, I would have just gone to an HBCU, 100%. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. And Myra, having spent money and sent money to a HBCU, would you like to go and study at I mean, you're right there in the mecca of
Oh yeah,
of
absolutely.
HBCUs.
Absolutely. I wanted to attend an HBCU. My mother wouldn't let me go because she was like, if it ain't on the south side, nope, you're not going that far. So I didn't get to an HBCU. So yeah, I would love that experience. Absolutely.
Yolanda, I think you had some comments there. Lamont Whitmore on Facebook said comes back as an HBCU marching band director. All right, Lamont, I love that. I'd like to see your work. I'd like to see a little of that. Don H.R. Frederick on YouTube says easy, music and art. So I wonder, is that applied art or what kind of art that would be? If you can share with us. Gwen Turner says interior design. I think I would like to go and figure out how to really handle hardware. One of my favorite things that I did for a while was work in building houses with those organizations, and I found myself very deficient in the knowledge of use of electric drills and power saws and all of that kind of stuff. And I would like to learn how to do it and perhaps go to a trade school and to learn that kind of stuff in order to help me to continue to volunteer and to have some sense of real knowledge of what I'm doing. And I watch way too much HGTV to not know. I watch way too much HGTV.
I understand that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So if you have any others, I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. Darnell Walton on YouTube says linguist or music instead of my MBA. All right, doctor. A master's of business administration, but you would rather be a musician or a linguist. And one particular language, or would that be? Go ahead, Steve. Would that be a number of languages?
I'm leaving that all alone.
For the bar for the ABA, they recently, the American Bar Association recently removed, you don't have to take the LSAT to actually get into law school anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks to Kim Kardashian, huh?
He did that? What? He did that?
She said she's working to become a lawyer. I don't think she had to do any of it, quite honestly. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I took you off your point.
No, I can't stand her. But
tell us how you really feel.
But yeah, so when I saw that, I was like, wow, I wonder, in how many years would there will be no standardized tests anymore, no ACT, no SAT, no GRE, no any of that, so that it would be more accessible for people to get their degree. Because
aren't they doing that, Kwyn? Though
some universities, I know, at least with Chicago Public Schools, it used to be ACT, but now they're shifting it to SAT. But I want no standardized tests. I took the ACT, but I don't want any standardized tests. I want everybody to just be able to apply, with SAT.
Yeah, we took both. Yeah. But from what I understand, they have done it in the past. Yolanda, I'm sorry, stop that flow there. Michelle Lynn Summerall on Facebook said I would have gotten a law degree too. It was a toss-up between law and psychology won. And we won too, Michelle, because of your great ability to show compassion and knowledge as we have these topics every day. So I'm very glad for that.
And I would have gone to acting school, yes, black acting school, like in Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle. Yes.
So Myra, would you have gone to the on the serious tip? Would you have gone to the Negro Theater Company in New York?
New York, I believe it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I took one acting class at Illinois State and just sat there going, what you mean be a tree? I didn't understand. understand what the heck was going on.
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah.
That's hilarious. That's really good. Going through Northwestern, and you had those classes, and you're standing there like this, and like, what are you? I'm jelly. I'm jelly sitting. It's like, that's brilliant. No, it's not. I just couldn't think of anything else to be. I could be like this, like a toaster, and throwing the bread up every time. But just something from your picture.
Well, I was already in culture shock. Coming from the South Side of Chicago, going into a white university. I was the only white kid in this class, and everybody else, it had this more creative background, and they were, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know how to be no darn tree, okay? Can we be barbecue or something I can relate to?
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
I can't be a tree, but I can leave.
Love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
Love
you.
it. He'll be here all week.
We really need sound effects.
You hurt my feelings.
Myra, I feel sometimes with you and Jay and George, I need a sound effect too.
Yes.
When we're doing, yeah. I do want to continue this. Annette Brady on Facebook says genetics and study of human behavior.
Everybody want to be a doctor or a business person. Y'all don't.
Well,
okay, y'all don't want to watch a film? Like, what is all this making money?
Stephen Hill.
Because I've been creative for the last 40 years. I need to make some money now.
Sooner rather than later.
Art is currency.
Okay, tell that to your mama.
But somehow I can't buy dinner with a joke. So somehow I can't sing for my supper. So
in an ideal world, you can.
In what?
Ideal world.
Yes.
C.M. Williams on Facebook says the biggest regret is dropping out of one of the best music schools in New York City.
Yeah.
If money was no object, I'd start today. Wow. That's something that I would love to do. What we're starting to do with our business with Yossi Media is to what we call the HBCU bridge. And so we're taking from where Tom started in keeping kids in historically Black colleges. And now we're taking students in historically Black colleges and helping them in the next, right, for their careers. And initially we're doing with sports production and what have you. I would love to be able to help older people go back to school and to complete their education. There are a lot of folks that are able to do that. Normally they're athletes, like Steph just got his degree from Davidson. Where is the story I had? Anthony Anderson finally got his degree from Howard University. And so the story goes on and on about these people who were finally able out of the bus. Jerome Bettis went back and got his degree from Notre Dame. And so, just like this gentleman has said, I would love to, if we could find a way for them to finish that degree at one of the best music schools in New York City. And if this world were mine, that would be something that I would take my lotto winnings and use it for. Real estate, says Dora Levette Tiggs. Absolutely. And I will have finished my trade school education that can help you as we flip these houses.
Yes. Somebody needs it. I'm telling you, somebody needs it right now.
Some kids go to school. Some kids go to school off of their parents' ability to fix an AC. That's right. I just sent somebody's child through graduate school. Fine art and painting, says Don H.R. Frederick on YouTube. Fine art and painting. Steve?
I did art modeling once.
Really? I could see that.
Yeah, the nude modeling once.
My girl. Okay. Let's talk.
They paid me $400. It was at.
And you did it once?
I did it. I tried to do it another time, but that's when I ended up leaving for Macomb. So I put my little sister on to it. But it was, first of all, it was really cool, but it got really painful because you got to stand up there for like 4 to 7 hours.
Oh, they didn't let you sit.
No, I was standing there, and they were like, "Okay, do you have to stretch?" And I was like, "Okay, yes." Like the Lord, like move my neck, a little something. But
and they said, "Arch your back." And
yes, and I only had like head wrap on. I felt like a queen.
Oh, that's very cool. I love that. I'd love to hear your adventures of your one-day modeling, nude modeling. Yeah, absolutely. So that's our question. Just think about it. I mean, and maybe the possibility still exists for some of us to be able to go back and do filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't heard a thing you said since nude modeling.
No, okay.
Have y'all been talking? I'm sorry. Have y'all been talking since then? My
bad.
My bad. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me think of the painting because I want to get another painting when I get a big house.
So with that, let us. Stephen. With that, we're going to move on.
It's time to move on.
What?
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
What?
Necessary punctuation.
Let's move to topical. And this is my favorite time, the Tuesdays in which we have elections. And we are now in the primary season. And of course, this is, it was a big day this past week. We had primary elections and Black folks did okay in some respects. Some history has been made. And so let's talk about the U.S. Senate candidates, Black Democrats who are now going to represent their party. They have the nomination and they're going to go on to the fall election. First of all, Sherry Beasley of North Carolina and Charles Booker of Kentucky will be the first African-American nominees for their respective states for the United States Senate.
All right. Very good.
Sherry Beasley is going to represent the Democratic Party in the election in the November election for the state of North Carolina. And Charles Booker is going to represent the state of Kentucky. And his opponent will be Rand Paul, everybody's favorite. Yay! Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Beasley beat out a crowded Democratic primary in North Carolina to become the party's nominee, and is successful. This former Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court will become the first Black senator from the Tar Heel state. That excites me. It just excites me. And it will fill a void that we have in the United States Senate. There are no Black women in the United States Senate right now. Not since Kamala Harris left.
Madam President, Vice President. Yes.
Right. Well, you were right. You're right.
Yes. Hopefully, yes.
And not only that, does she have the possibility to fill that role, but Val Demings as well. Don't forget her election. She is running for the Democratic nomination in Florida to become the next senator. And I can't wait for that as well.
In Congress, I should be happy, but I'm not. Valerie Fouché won the 4th District of North Carolina. Proud sister, state senator. I should be happy for her, but I'm not because she beat Clay Aiken, and my mom loves Clay Aiken.
Oh my God, I thought about your mom.
She beat Clay Aiken. So Clay Aiken was up for the Democratic primary.
And he's been trying for that for a long time.
He has indeed. He tried South Carolina first, then North Carolina. And I believe I put more dollars into his campaign than he actually got votes. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think those who don't know, my mother's obsessed with Clay Aiken and has been for years. She acts like a 14-year-old around Clay Aiken. And he has been so nice to her that my brother and I support his campaign whenever he runs. But sadly, he got only 7% of the vote. So congratulations to Valerie.
Right. Yeah. And he's such a lovely man. Your mom has great taste as president of the Clay Aiken fan club. In Kentucky, as I was saying, Charles Booker is going to run against Rand Paul. And he has tried for this spot before. He ran against the woman who was the Democratic nominee against Mitch McConnell, Amy McGrath. She's a former military pilot, if I'm not mistaken, but he did not win. And this was right after the whole Breonna Taylor thing happened. He came very close to winning, but this time with a plurality of the vote, he won. And so he will be taking on Rand Paul in the November election, which I'm very excited about. And lastly, this is in the state of Pennsylvania. A lot of conversation about Trump supported candidates like Dr. Oz and what have you in Pennsylvania. But Austin Davis won the Democratic Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor primary. And he had a small group of people that he did beat out, but he would be the state's first Black lieutenant governor if elected in November. He is currently a state lawmaker, and so I'm very excited about these. And Clay, I'm very sorry about your losing as well. So sorry about that.
Now in Pennsylvania has Dr. Oz been that's
No.
still a runoff, or
Yeah.
they're still
No.
counting votes?
Yeah. And so
I believe he's-
they right now, Myra, when it's
Mhm.
this close, the conversation is having a recount.
A recount. Okay.
A recount, yeah, for the United States Senate, the Republican nomination for the United States Senate, and the Black woman who was running, it looked like she was doing very well at the very end, but never got beyond 25% of the vote. Yeah. But Dr. Oz is still in it, and it's going to be interesting to see how Pennsylvania is a really interesting state. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
And so let us move on. It's now. Would you like to?
Go ahead, Steven.
Moving on to what? What are we moving on to?
We're moving on to, oh, you know what? It's too soon. I'm sorry. But can they have some music to stay here?
Oh, it's too soon, so let's stay right here.
Can't tell you how many times. This is what I want. The Cosby trial, a new trial for Mr. Cosby, kicking up in LA next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
Yes. Jury selection is less than a week away, and attorneys are scrambling to deal with the evidence in Bill Cosby's civil trial over allegations that he sexually assaulted a teenager at the Playboy Mansion nearly 50 years ago.
Oh, wow.
The plaintiff is Judy Huth. And she said in a recent filing, she now believes the assault happened in 1975 when she was 16. And she is going through this case. And now the Superior Court judge says that he has no plans to throw out the 8-year-old case. So this has been going on for a while. Just before that trial is to start with jury selection on Monday. The 85-year-old Cosby will not attend. According to his attorneys, it's taken on a renewed significance as one of the few remaining legal actions against him. There's still actions against Bill Cosby. And this is even after the Pennsylvania decision, which threw out his criminal sexual conviction, for which he served time in prison. Steve, are they talking about this in LA?
No. I just want to know where the trial is. I need him to be under a jail somewhere. That's all. I have no perspective on this. I have no gray area. It's just it might be, and of course it's a bigger challenge because he was my first entertainment hero.
Right. That's why I was asking if it could, because Steve goes back to memorizing old Cosby routines.
Absolutely. And so I feel for all the women who were victims of Bill Cosby. I think you really want to get a perspective. Go look at that. W. Kamau Bell's documentary,
yes,
documentary on it, which is
yes.
excellent, and is even-handed, and even as even-handed it is, you're still like, let's see. The only trial should be like, how far under the jail can we actually bury him?
How far under the jail?
Under.
Yeah. That's something my mama used to say. That's what made me laugh there. Put him under the jail. Is anybody surprised that Elon Musk has declared himself a Republican? So funny to me.
But is he still human? Okay.
Well, okay. He's an alien.
Okay.
He is an alien. He declares he's a Republican and expects dirty tricks from Democrats. This is such a Donald Trump move, because whatever you're doing, you throw it back on people and charge them with the same thing. Elon Musk is still on the fence about Twitter. Can't decide whether he wants to spend billions of dollars on Twitter, but he says he's been a longtime supporter of the Democratic Party, which he says used to be the kindness party, and now they become the party of division and hate. So I can no longer support them and will vote Republican, and especially because you don't have to pay any taxes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That part
right there. He went on Twitter.
I gotta lie. After I got my breakdown of my paycheck, I was like, was Nixon really that bad? There's more taxes. There's more taxes taking more home than I am. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know, just like you started saying, and who is Micah?
Trump had his positive points as well, didn't he?
Says all of his rich folks. Yes.
You gotta be that rich. Trust me. I'm the proof.
Okay. Well, California. I know when I lived there, it was like, because coming from Texas, we don't pay state taxes. And so, coming from to Texas, I came back to Texas as quickly as I could, and now look where I am. But California's ridiculous when it comes to taxes, Stephen Hill.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's astonishing. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I was in Chicago a week before last night, bought an item, and I looked on the receipt. I said, "What's the $25?" And the lady said, "The tax," and I was like, dang, I feel sorry for
what did you,
let me get
was it the plastic bag tax or the soda tax?
No. It was a pair of shoes, but it was $25.
Mm-hmm.
Tax
Blame it on Lord.
Blame it on what? What did you blame it on?
Blame it on Lord Lightfoot. Lord Lightfoot.
But look, I really expected another shoe or a free pair of socks or something. I'm like, I need an extra left shoe or something like this, because man.
Wow. All right. So I did want to mention this as well. This is a really sweet story, and I love remembering people's birthdays. So I want to remember the birthday of one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, and he's been asking for birthday cards for his 100th birthday. Retired Sergeant Victor Butler of Cranston, Rhode Island, is turning 100 on May 21st. And he hopes the public will send him birthday cards to enjoy on the special day. He's a part of the primarily African-American military pilots and airmen who fought in World War II, breaking barriers, creating history. And if you saw the movie Red Tails, then you understand. And he talks about his history, but he just wants to be celebrated with birthday cards on his 100th birthday. Mm-hmm. And we're going to try to get that information on where we might be able to send him the birthday cards, as well as maybe a little something extra for him for his birthday. But God bless you, sir. Thank you for your service. And what a long life. That's awesome. 100 years old. He should get as much, as many as 100 times the number of cards that probably will come his way. But what a great guy. And he plans to read every card that is sent to him. Wow. So that is really cool. Very, very nice. Mm-hmm. I just love that. And lastly, we were talking about folks getting going back and getting their degrees. And I did want to mention this. The Steph Curry, as well as, and your girl, Taylor Swift, got an honorary degree, Stephen Hill.
She did indeed.
Yeah. Was it from NYU?
NYU. I believe. NYU, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're talking about if you could go back and get your degree, what would it be? And Steph Curry got his he was like a 1 semester shy of graduating when he went into the NBA. And so he worked with a couple of people who are now on the West Coast, who taught him at Davidson. On the East Coast, and he got his degree and making his mama very proud, and I love that, as I'm sure young Kwyn did as she stepped across the stage the other day. Yeah. Okay. Colin Kaepernick is also a former student athlete who will be getting an honorary degree, and this will be in social justice, which many of us can appreciate. And the former 49ers quarterback is set to receive the honorary degree from Morgan State because of his social justice work, according to the university. Leadership, integrity, innovation, diversity, excellence, and respect are more than just words that will appear on the flags that adorn our campus. And they also are, like this young man, are representations of our core values. And so Colin Kaepernick will be doing that. So that's really cool. I really love that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So now it is time. Stephen Hill, we're moving on to entertainment.
Da 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 ba ba.
What?
What it's all about, Myra, in entertainment is that Nick Cannon has admitted that he has taken a vasectomy consultation with a doctor.
Good, because
So
there are memes about him and is it Kiki White is saying that they're the reason that there's a baby formula shortage. There are memes.
That's good. It is good. That is good. That is good. It is good right there. You know, that's funny as hell.
That is funny. He is a father to 7, soon to be 8. And the 41-year-old has shared that the future of his family will look like after the birth of his latest child with his girlfriend, Bree. And he said, I don't know if I've designed it this way, but it's one of those things where you're blessed with the gifts of children. And as we all know, I've been through so much. I find solace, peace in my children and purpose. And he's a great dad from all indications. But he also says that he has the guilt of not having enough time to spend with all of them at this point. And so instead of populating the planet, as he said, he will definitely be giving some consideration to having a vasectomy, which I think is very
good for him.
Very adult for him.
Yeah.
Stephen Hill.
And obvious.
No, but Steve.
And obvious.
Well, yeah, we know how many when couples are talking about birth control, it's usually the woman who goes and has her tubes tied. The discussion about a man having a vasectomy is very rare in most couples.
Oh, that's interesting. Not in my circle. Not in my circle. It's
good for you.
When you don't, because I guess, and I don't know the answer to this question, but it feels like it's a function of how many of those 7 children were planned. I know 2 of them were. Like I know 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first 2. The first 2.
Two specifically, but you know, if a preponderance of the evidence shows that, like, you know, having kids without intention, you kind of have that conversation. If not that action.
Yeah. What do you think, young Kwyn?
I think it's interesting that he went to go see a vasectomy. I definitely thought he was gonna encourage his next girlfriend or somebody to like be on birth control, because I do hear a lot of guys or just people in general, like, you know, not wanting to wear a condom and just like asking like, oh, okay, are you on birth control? Do you take the tablet? Like, are you, opting in for plan B or whatever? But I have never heard a guy say, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get the surgery. Like I've never heard that before. But the fact that he is, I think that is admirable.
And I gotta say, it's also obvious because I won't use any proper nouns, but I think we all understand there's a culture out there where if you are a man with a lot of money and you ask that question of a woman that you know not that well, sometimes the answer may not come back with truth attached to it. Hey, babe, are you on birth control? Of course I am. This is crazy. Of course I would never do that to you. And then that happens.
9 months later.
That happens. We have to agree with that culture, but I think we don't agree that culture actually exists, as sad as it is.
Yeah, people lie. Men lie too.
No. That wasn't a men lie, women. It wasn't thinking men.
I mean, I know a woman personally who was sleuthed. I don't know if you guys know the term sleuth, but that's when a guy claims that he has a condom on and he actually didn't. And they engage in sexual intercourse, and then he ends up depositing his seed, because that's what men think they are. They think they're farmers and trying to grow a brigade or whatever. And the woman ends up, having this type of position where it's like, okay, am I going to, choose to raise this child or choose, to have the abortion? And I feel like a man deciding actually preemptively, I know myself, I don't want to use a condom. I actually would rather enjoy to keep having sex. It's like, okay, well, yeah, get a vasectomy. Like,
and you know where that person should be? You know where that man should be? 1 floor below Bill Cosby.
Wow.
That's where that man should be. 1 floor below Bill Cosby.
Safe sex is great sex, as Lil Wayne said. You better wear latex. You don't want that latex. I think I am late.
Come on, speak it. Stephen Hill, speaking of Lil Wayne, great job on the Billboard Awards.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
No. I'm sorry. Were you? Okay. I'm so sorry. Let me be. Yes, it was the best time of my entire life. It was wonderful, and I thought everything went on just well.
What?
That's so dry.
Like, moving on.
I
Okay.
was not expecting
What?
I wasn't either.
Oh, you
Okay.
weren't expecting the truth. I'm sorry, you weren't expecting the truth because I always lie. What?
No,
No, it was not.
no,
It was a less than enjoyable experience.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm sorry we didn't devote enough time to this, and perhaps we can talk about it because now it's time. It really is. It's time for us to go to our daily inspiration. But I would love to have this conversation if we could have it in public or private. I don't know. Today's daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels: gently encourage the health of others. With a little help, we can all get there to good health together. So I wish you all good health, and we're once again we're very proud of you, young Kwyn. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Kwyn. But Maxwell was awesome. But Maxwell turned that bad boy out. All right, that's all I got. Maxwell turned that out.
And the young lady who gave the speech from
Myra Company was a discovery.
Yeah.
It was a great discovery.
Yes.
All right, you guys.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Peace
See you
out.
next time.
Stay safe, everyone.